And I'll go
I'm
last.
I'm Josh.
I'm Dominic.
And I'm Robert.
This is three guys chilling out, having a good time. We talk about movies that we like and other things like that. And today we're talking about Man of Steel.
Not necessarily that we like.
That's
Just
true.
we talk about
Not
movies.
necessarily that we like, and we will get to that. Man of Steel was the film of the week. We watch a new film every week, and we talk about it in depth. This week is Superhero Month, which is super exciting, so we only review superhero movies in the month of April. So, this is a Zack Snyder film. So far, this is the third Zack Snyder film that I've watched, and all three of them we've talked about on the podcast before, so if you want to have a look at the previous videos, you'll see how I feel. Very polar opposites in terms of that. So, I guess we'll start it off. Yeah, we'll start off with 5-second reviews, I guess. Who feels like going first? Josh?
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay. I don't know how I would say it. Well, I don't remember any of it, and I only watched it, 2 hours ago, or finished watching it 2 hours ago. So, that gives you an idea.
No, it doesn't. Not really.
Gettable?
So it was pretty boring for you?
Yeah, pretty boring.
Okay.
Well,
What about you?
I don't know. I kind of liked it. I wouldn't say it's the best film ever made, but I had a fun time watching it.
Okay. My 5-second take on this is okay, I was way into it for the first 10 minutes, then I was super bored for the next hour, and then for the last hour I was way into it again. And then the ending was garbage. That's how I felt.
A sine wave.
Yeah, I can see that. I only remember that it was boring because I remember the boring bits. I just remember that the really actiony bits.
How do you remember the boring bits?
I just remember that the actiony bits were all really CG. So much CG.
Yeah, it's fucking Superman. I think they did that for real.
They got that shit
Can you,
on that.
can you imagine the budget on that movie if that was real?
Dude.
Yeah, but I mean, it was noticeably.
Okay.
It was noticeably
flying
CG.
that dragon. Okay, so let's talk about from start to finish, I guess. I actually made notes here. They're 2 pages long, and 1.5 pages is plot holes. So I guess I have a lot.
Get ready, kids. We're in for a fun ride.
So I have a lot to discuss on that. So did you guys dig the intro on Krypton?
On Krypton, yes.
That was cool.
Pretty good.
That was probably the coolest part of the movie, which is unfortunate that it was all downhill from there. But I thought it was so rad that he was like riding that dragon thing. That was really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. They kind of seemed kind of silly that they were like building up this relationship between him and the dragon, and then just immediately kill everyone on the planet.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like they were building it up too much. It's not like the dragon had like a personality or anything. I think they gave him a name. I forget what it was.
Yeah, why'd they give him? What's the point of that?
I wonder if that was part of the lore or they just threw that in.
They changed. That's like they changed.
As well be.
They changed Superman's dad's name. They just changed it to L. Yeah, they changed it to L instead of Jor-El.
But they still called him Jor-El. They still called him Jor-El.
I'm saying Jor-El.
They kept calling him L. They kept calling him L in the movie.
Okay, so here's the confusing bit. So he says Jor-El, he says, "You will be named Kal-El, son of El."
Yeah.
It's probably
So
just
it
like
must be. So El is their house name. Remember, because it's the house of. Because he was talking about that the insignia on his chest, the house of his family. That's their insignia, and it means
We
peace.
don't actually know
Remember?
anything. We don't actually know anything about proper real Superman. We just
It was
watched
weird.
this movie.
Yeah, I don't care about Superman. Okay, so that bit was cool. I thought it was cool. I thought Michael Shannon, I thoroughly enjoyed his over-the-top antics in this film.
was that Zod?
Yeah, that's
He
Zod.
was-
Yeah,
He
General
was
Zod.
good. He was fun.
He was great. I will find him. That was the best.
I will find him.
Oh, I love him.
So many.
Um,
I'm just thinking of that with him and just the whole Kryptonian race. So many plot holes when they come to Earth, man. So
Dude,
many plot holes.
1.5 pages. 1.5 pages, and that's bullet points. Okay?
Small
I'm
text.
I'm saving 20 minutes for this shit. So here's my problem. After it goes to Earth, it immediately becomes incredibly boring, and I don't care. How did you guys feel?
Yeah. That was like all exposition for people who haven't been in the Superman universe before, isn't it?
Which is like zero, because Superman is massive.
I know.
I've heard of Superman,
honestly,
but I think I probably would have needed that because I don't care about Superman.
Okay, honestly, this is what I think. If you took out that entire hour and just skipped right from
To the part
when
where
Superman leaves Krypton right to the actual big fight that goes for an hour, the big Dragon Ball Z fight at the end, that will be
Yeah.
a kick-ass movie. That's a super rad movie because it's just straight up action, and it's like literally zero characters have any like real character development, so you're not missing out on anything. So
Yeah.
just skip like an hour.
And they don't have anything to stuff up then, because like they stuffed up the character
Yeah,
development. And
exactly.
exposition
I would have.
because it was so boring.
I would. Yeah, that would have been a great movie, and it still could be. So I would recommend watching this movie and skipping that, because honestly, it's like
Skip up
There's
to the
so
part
many
where there's that
stupid
little
things.
fight scene in the middle, and then after that, to the other fight scenes, because that's where the money is.
yeah,
That's where it all happens.
yeah. Okay, so I guess I should start going through my notes.
Yes.
So I'd like to start off by saying this Man of Steel review was brought to you by Nokia, apparently. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, I was
absurd amount of...
I was gonna say, why did you just have your webcam and just like doing this with it a bunch?
Oh, no. Oh, my phone is not... I'm talking about the product placement in the movie. Did you guys notice that?
I didn't notice it at
Oh,
all.
I saw so much. There's so much.
I
Like
really-
7-Eleven, Nokia. Nokia was big.
I only really noticed it because I watched a nostalgia critic review of it, and he noticed it, but I didn't really have a problem with it. They're all brands that
I know. It's just something I wanted to point out. My phone isn't Nokia, though, but I'm willing to sell out and say that it is if Nokia gives me money. Just a little bit. Just wanted to point that out. So first of all, why do they speak English? Why do Kryptonians all speak English? They never explain that. That's stupid. Also, why do they look exactly like...
Hang on.
Isn't there one particular
I
part
thought
where
that's it, but I think I figured it out.
they're speaking
What?
Kryptonian? Isn't there like one
No.
particular part? There's none
I
when
didn't
they
see it.
send all of the ships to Earth, like they're speaking. Unless it was just really garbled and I didn't understand it, which could be the case because, you know.
Wait, well that wouldn't make any sense, because why would they speak Kryptonian there and then have it English? You'd think they would make it like consistent.
Yeah, that's.
I'm sure
That's
there
like-
wasn't any Kryptonian.
Like, because it's implied that they've been watching the humans for all that time. And when they do the broadcast, they broadcast in all the languages across the world. So maybe they just speak in English when they're in America because they've studied the humans and they know that language.
Yeah, but why do they speak English on Krypton?
Maybe it's implied that they're speaking Kryptonian, but they're just too lazy to make up the language for it. They've already spent enough money on that movie as it is. They don't want a freaking linguistic
it's just
expert
weird.
with it.
It's just weird because
silly.
I guess I can understand that. So maybe they were speaking Kryptonian, and then when Zod got banished to that whatever, I don't care enough to remember the name.
It translated all Kryptonian into English.
So they studied Earth. Did they? Was it implied that they were like?
Well, the ship was there for like 18,000 years under the thing. That's where he went to.
Wait.
It's where Clark Kent.
18,000 years.
Remember, he goes into like there's that.
Okay.
Ship
Hold on, I'm sorry.
frozen in the lake.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So there's a
he
ship.
goes down into it, and all the science dudes.
This was the bit that I was not interested in.
Shut up. I was, all right. And all the science dudes were saying like, ice around this thing is over 18,000 years old. That means it's been down here for so long. And they were saying that, and they explained
Wait. So they were spying on Earth long before Krypton exploded. Is that what
Yes.
is going on?
Yeah, because they.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, I didn't catch on that at all. So I thought it was.
Was I the only one who paid attention to the movie?
I was like, 18,000 years. Oh, that's interesting. I hope they punch each other again soon, because that was exciting. It's so, it's really frustrating. I know this is like mega nitpick, but it's so frustrating that they look exactly like humans, and they're like nothing to do with humans at all. It's so frustrating. I just can't get past that. I can't suspend my disbelief enough.
The thing that I don't understand, there's like a whole ship full of Kryptonians, and then there's Superman, one Kryptonian. Because let's face it, he's actually a genetically inferior Kryptonian. Apart from having that stupid Cryptex or whatever it's called.
Codex. It was called the Codex.
The Cryptex. It may as well have been called the Cryptex, honestly.
You're turning me into that nerd, guys. What? It's called the Codex. Guys, come on.
But anyway, apart from that, he still had the same capabilities as a normal Kryptonian, and there were 6 other Kryptonians against him, and he still managed to beat them. That's something that I don't get.
I'm going to get to that.
Even General Zod is watch.
Yeah. General Zod is the single worst army officer I've literally ever seen in my life. He's so incapable, and I'm going to get to that, like, in a second. Also, did you notice all the Kryptonians were white? Explains why they ruined everything with colonization, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, historical bad.
Okay, so we skip forward into the movie.
Are you going to bring race into this? What if they just don't have black Kryptonians?
It's just something I noticed. Why? Okay, the stupidest scene in the whole movie was his father's death scene. That was ridiculous.
Yeah,
that was
stupid.
So for those who haven't seen it, they're driving along.
Spoilers.
And
if you want.
Yes, spoilers. Okay, we're entering spoiler territory. Whatever. They're driving along, and he's arguing with his dad, and his dad's saying like, you have to be on the farm. That's where you're really helping people, putting food in people's mouths, which is so stupid because, like, through the whole other part of the movie, he's, like, saying that he's the Messiah, basically. So he's just completely, like, 180 on it. Yeah. Anyway, So he's driving along, and there's this twister that comes up, and the dog's trapped in the car, and of course you have to save the dog. So, Kevin Costner, what's his dad's name? I don't really care that much.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, okay.
It's Jonathan
So
Kent.
Jonathan Kent.
I pay attention. I don't know shit about Superman. I just watched the movie.
Wow. So Jonathan Kent decides that he's going to sacrifice his own life to save the dog, or at least he's going to try and save the dog. So he runs back to the car, and this twister's coming up and destroying everything. And he saves the dog, of course, and the dog gets away. But poor old Jonathan Kent gets his foot stuck. And instead of saying, "Hey, son, who is a deity, please help me, I will die now," he decides that it's the best course of action to hold up his hand like this and go, and stop those 20 people from seeing that he has superpowers. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth it.
Especially because, what? Half an hour later, he just goes on a rampage with his superpowers.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was so stupid. There was no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they just wanted to kill off the father figure and just had a lazy script writer or something.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, did you watch the movie? The script writer was like 14. But there was one cool line in it, though. There was one cool line, and it was when they're on the ship, and Kal-El goes onto the Zod's ship for the first time, and he's like passing out because the atmosphere's all different, and Zod goes into that hallucination thing, and he's
that
like...
was really stupid as well, the hallucination.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
That was just like, oh.
Yeah. But he's like,
like
I will build Krypton upon your bones, or something like that. Yeah, I will rebuild Krypton atop your bones. I thought that was a cool line. So before we get to that... yeah.
It's different. That was a different part of the film.
So,
Fuck.
Why... Here's my question. Zod, when he comes to Earth, he's an ultimate god. He has the same powers as Superman, right? Why change Earth into Krypton if you already have ultimate deity powers? There's no point. Why would you even bother? You can already rule the Earth with, like, one finger. Like, why would you want to change it into Krypton? I don't understand the point of that. Did you guys...
And was the Kryptonian atmosphere like the kryptonite? Is that what that was meant to be?
I have no idea.
No, Superman was meant to be he's used to like the Earth's stuff, and because he's Kryptonian, he's a lot stronger in a more nourishing environment.
That's what the whole thing is.
Back in the original one, he's all weak and shit.
That's like with the kryptonite. It's the same with the kryptonite, except they use atmosphere and terraforming and environmental type things rather than a glowing green stone. And it's...
Well, hey, it's modern film and shit. Who cares?
Okay, anyway, stupid plan. Also,
there's a lot of stupid things about this film. If you're going to pinpoint all of them, we'll be here all night.
The next one of my notes is, why was Zod showing him his plan? Why didn't he just lie about Earth being destroyed? Instead, he had to make it really obvious that he was the bad guy and just make, like, a mountain of skulls. He was like... He thought that was a good idea. I think that was meant to be,
like, Clark Kent's imagination of him. With the skulls.
That was never explained, though, was it? Why was he having mental communication then with Zod? Like,
because
that
Zod
never
was
explained?
talking to him when he was like on the ground in that weird coma shit. on the table, and Zod was just sort of like brooding over him, just saying, "Oh, I'm gonna destroy everything and shit."
Then why was Zod revealing his plan to a seemingly unconscious Superman?
Because
If he was just laying on a table and
Yeah.
Zod was just standing over him going, I'm going to go on the earth.
Because Superman was
There
still
could have been
like,
plenty of other
shut up!
things. that
I'm
could have been-
fuck
there
up!
could be plenty of other things
I'm
that
ex-
Zod could have
Gosh.
been doing to Superman
Gosh,
while he was
I am
standing over him on a
explaining
table.
shit. Josh, that's enough. All right, here we go. Because he's like, he doesn't have his powers back because it's still the atmosphere of kryptonite, which is why he's like, all stuff the shooter's like, hey, I've got you in the table, you can't break those blinds. And then the chick puts in Russell Crowe into the machine, and then he brings the Earth's atmosphere into it. So he breaks it, and he didn't expect that shit to happen.
Okay.
That's my explanation. That's what I think the movie was trying to say.
I still don't really... That was poorly explained.
It was
in
poorly
my
done.
opinion.
But if you pay attention to the damn film,
Maybe that's
you
what
can
happened.
get it.
Why was Lois brought onto the ship? Like, what purpose
No,
would Zod have with Lois?
What purpose did
He's
Lois
into
even
Earth
have in the... What purpose did she even have in the film? Like, she was
Yes,
just
zero.
like a little bit in it, and then they kissed. They suddenly kissed near the end of the movie, and it was like, what?
Okay, but like when Zod's like finally got Superman, when Superman surrenders, he asks for Superman and he asks for Lois as well.
I think it's
Why?
because he thought that she knew something, but how he knew that, I don't know. It was stupid.
What would she possibly know? Zod
I
knows
think
like
that
10 million times more than Lois did. Zod is
I
like...
think that
Go on.
Zod just wanted to.
Yeah, that'd be it.
Literal. Just wanted, like,
But he already had that
bargaining
super
chip.
hot... He already had that super hot Kryptonian chick that was with them. So, you know. Anyway, also, why did they put Lois into a room with that lock in it? What
lock?
So they just throw her into the room and it just happens to have, like, a lock that you can put the codex into, and it's like...
Why would Lois have
Then
to
why didn't they search her first? Why wouldn't
Why would they need to?
Why wouldn't they give her one search over to
Why
make
would-
sure that she wasn't carrying anything that could
Like what, a
bring
gun?
down the
Because
entire
clearly, Earth's weaponry is just really good against the Kryptonian stuff.
Dude, even if she already
What could she possibly have?
she had the codex. She had the codex,
why
she
would
put it
they
in
know
the
that?
machine.
Why would they?
I don't
assume
know,
that?
that's why you search people. That's why you search everyone. It's not like when you bring prisoners into prison, they are like, well,
That's
they're prisoners, what
completely
can they do?
different.
They have to search prisoners. It's not at all different. Lois
It
was
is
a prisoner.
totally different.
Lois was a prisoner. She had... The fact that they didn't even think about
this is-
searching her, surely there's like a
What did-
jail section of the ship that they can just throw her in, and there's not like this blatant codex key
It's-
that just so happens to have a thing where if you put something into it, it uploads a virus machine that's Russell Crowe.
It's fucking, like, it's not a fucking prison. That is the equivalent of, like, you got a bunch of prisoners and, like, a kindergartner. And you're going to search the kindergartner?
Okay. Yes. Okay,
Why?
it's different to a kindergartner because
No, it's not.
A
Because he is
kindergartner-
basically the equivalent of that to these
No.
super advanced aliens.
Lois is smart though. Lois is smart. A kindergartner
No,
is not.
she's
That's where
not.
it's different. Okay. Compared to a child, she's pretty smart.
It's still debatable.
She was still... See, if they had a toddler, the toddler wouldn't have been able to reach the codex thing, so they would have been fine. But Lois was, like... Okay. I don't know. I still can't get over that. They didn't search her. They just threw her in some random room. What was that, a closet? And they never
Maybe
explained
all the
why it
rooms
had the
have
codex
those.
in it.
Maybe all of
Every
them.
single room has a codex in it. That seems like a massive
Codexes.
security flaw. considering this ship was built like back on Krypton where there actually were Kryptonians, that seems like a massive, massive flaw in the ship's architecture. If like they just throw people in prisons and they can just like put a little key in there because they don't search them, so they just like put a little key in there and escape.
Because why would they need to search the humans? They would obviously search the Kryptonians.
No wonder Krypton got blown up. Kryptonians are idiots. Kryptonians are the dumbest race in the world.
Let's move on.
In the universe.
That's why they went extinct.
Exactly. Maybe that's what this film was. Maybe that was deliberate.
Movie.
Anyway, that was stupid.
The movie. The planet.
What's another plot hole that you have?
So one of them was answered. One of the questions I had was why did Krypton never attempt communication with Earth? I guess you explained that they were like spying on him for like thousands of years. So that I can.
That'd be an awkward conversation to have with a race of 7 billion people.
Yeah.
We've been looking at you for a million years.
So why is Kal-El and Jor-El L, but Zod is just Zod? Is that just because he just... Is it like
it's a different family name, isn't it?
What?
He's not just Zod, that's the thing.
What's his full name?
Drew Zod.
Drew Zod? So Zod is his house name?
Yes.
Interesting.
That's not really... You wrote that down? That's a really...
Oh, that wasn't a plot point. That was just a question I had. These are just mainly questions that I have about the film, because it left a lot unanswered.
Didn't pay attention during the boring bits.
They never said his name was Drew Zod.
No,
Who would have a first name of Drew anyway? What a stupid name for a military commander. My name is Drew.
There goes all our fan base whose name is Drew.
Look,
my name's
Drew's
Drew.
a great name, but if you're like Michael Shannon and you're taking over the Earth, and your name's Drew, no wonder he calls himself Zod. He probably has like things like, "Don't call me Drew."
Hang on. Would you prefer to be called Drew or Zod?
If I was in this universe that this movie was set in, I would prefer to be called Zod. Oh, I would prefer to be called Drew, but if I was a badass alien commander, I would be called Zod.
I would much rather be called Zod than Robert. That's a cool name, Zod. Provided it's an already established name. Otherwise,
yeah,
it's just weird.
It's a cool name if you're like an alien overlord. It's a dumb name if you're filling in a tax return.
Actually, it's a pretty cool name if you're filling in a tax return. It's a dumb name if you're a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah, exactly. Also, okay, you're going to cite this one because it's all so nitpicky, but I know every movie does this, but they were fighting in space, and there was still sound, and that just annoys me, so let's all move past it. Let's all move past it. That annoys me. I can't get past that.
You're one of those people?
Hey, Robert, as a sound engineer, you know what's funny? So am I.
See? I'm not alone.
Why am I always... somehow the weird one, even though I probably have the more socially accepted opinions. Yet I'm still being alienated.
Maybe because you're a drugger, Robin. Maybe because you smoke marijuana. That's probably why.
I don't smoke it. I take its oil intravenously.
Intravenously?
I inject it into my skin with a needle.
You bake the oil into a batch of either cookies or brownies, sometimes a cake.
None of us have ever smoked marijuana, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious enough.
How many marijuanas do you have to inject before you see anything?
I don't know. Let's find out. Let's come over to my place later tonight. We'll find out. Also, that family at the end, when Zod was like laser eyeing that, they could have easily run away.
They could have ducked. Even if they just ducked, they would have got.
Well, if they ducked, you probably would have.
Honestly, honestly, they deserve to die. Not many people, I would say, deserve to die. That family should have
I
died.
reckon
That's what
Zod did.
evolution was for.
Because, like, it's not his neck, it's his eyes that are controlling that. He's taken his time deliberately. He could
Why?
Yeah, he could have just looked sideways.
That's
done the whole
the
chicken guys
point.
thing and taken out like 50 people.
I didn't even realize that he could have just literally looked to the right, and he would have. Oh my god, that. I'm speechless.
He was.
I don't even. I'm so.
Either
Okay.
he's just a huge dick, or they just didn't have a
I
very
think
good
the
writing
only thing.
cast.
Okay, I've come to the conclusion that Zod desperately wanted to be stopped. That's the only way that
Some
any
kind
human
of-
being could be as stupid as he was.
Some kind of villain fetish.
Yeah.
I gotta be stopped by Superman.
Probably. And that's all the major plot holes I had. Plot holes and questions. So I just have a few more notes to go through. That was a stupid ending. So he kills Zod. He snaps his neck, and you would think that he's like screaming like, "Oh no!" and he screams up like the Darth Vader thing at the end of episode 3. He's like, "No!" and then it just cuts to the next scene, and he's like, "Whatever." He's just all chilled out. He's like, "No, it wasn't a big deal. I just killed the guy." I don't know.
He just
which I'll
killed an
be fine
guy.
with. Which I'll be fine
What
with.
about the collateral damage from his fight
But-
with him?
Yeah.
How many people probably got killed in those
Like,
giant-ass building
also, yeah,
collapses?
that annoys me. It's the same thing that annoyed me about the Avengers. Literally, like, 9/11 times 1,000 just happened, and they're just, like, hanging out.
He's a hero.
It's like,
And, no, they're like, he's a hero. Let's worship him as a hero because he saved us. But he
Yeah.
just killed millions of people.
millions. It had to be.
Yeah, it's like Watchmen, but they're ignoring the millions of people who die. Watchmen just cuts
Yeah.
out the middleman, just kills them all at once. He's like, okay, whatever.
Dude.
And says it. And they're like,
Yeah,
They
killing a
killed
million people.
Dude, Man of
Yeah,
Steel
he
doesn't
killed
even
everyone.
hold a candle to Watchmen, man. Dr.
I knew
Manhattan
what was going on in
is
this.
like...
I think I enjoyed this
Yeah.
a little bit more than Watchmen.
It's true. I'm just saying, as far as, like, God walking on Earth, Dr. Manhattan was a far more interesting and way cooler character and way more realistic.
Well,
He
Dr.
just
Manhattan can
gets-
do a lot more.
Yeah. Well, true.
Like,
not in an arc where Superman meditates in front of the sun for a year.
What happens then? Does he just become
gets-
like...
He gets super god powers and can create and destroy life at will.
I think we just
Wow.
found our next
I
movie.
thought Superman was overpowered before. Jesus.
What does he fight? The Earth? Like a planet?
But
Does he
if you-
just like
Obesity.
fight a solar system?
Fights obesity.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just know that happens.
Okay.
He fights climate change. He was actually sitting in front of the
anyway.
sun to cool the Earth for a little bit.
Anyway, he destroys a spy satellite instead of like changing its orbit or whatever.
It wasn't
I don't know,
a
he
spy
just,
satellite, it was a drone.
No, it wasn't a satellite. It was
Oh,
a
a drone? Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense. So he destroys a drone because it was spying on him or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Trying to
then
find
they're talking to
out where
the
he hangs
military.
his
Yeah,
cape.
yeah, they're talking to the military commander, and he's like, "Huh, you've got to learn to trust me." And he's like, "How can we be sure that you're not a threat to America?" And it's like, fucking America? Dude, are you serious? Like, literally the Earth, the whole Earth was in trouble. It's like, how do I know you're not a threat to America? Jesus. Although he was an American commander, so I'll give him that. But it's just like, it's so...
Yeah,
and then he's
social
like,
commentary on.
I'm from Kansas. I'm about as American as it gets.
Yeah.
You're from
I bet
Krypton, you
that-
douchebag.
that
The
before,
only
so-
way that scene could have got more like God bless America is if there was like an eagle in the background.
Yeah, and it just
With
cuts
a
to like
flag.
an eagle and thing. Yeah, yeah.
With a,
They cuts
with
to
a
him
flag
flying,
attached
the eagle
to
next to
his
him.
His
And then, like,
yeah, his
flag.
cape is a flag, and he just flies off singing the Star Spangled Banner. That's the only way. So that didn't annoy me that much.
No, that
What really
probably
pissed
happens
me off-
in Captain. Probably happens in Captain America anyway. So
Yeah, but at least that's reasonable. At least his name's like in the title.
America's a stupid hero. Like,
It is pretty silly. Anyway, we're not talking about Captain America. Oh yeah,
we might as well be by the end of that movie.
Yeah, we might as well. So, like, what that didn't annoy me too much. What really I thought was stupid and unnecessary was how the chick was like, and how he's like looks at the chick and he's like, "Why are you smiling?" And she's like, "I just think he's kind of hot."
hot.
Screw you.
Yeah,
What a stupid thing to say. Way to like completely fail to write like any intelligent female characters.
hang on,
you
maybe.
dickhead screenwriter.
Whoa, hang on. I just had an epiphany. What
What?
if they were overthinking it and they were trying to get across that she was trying because the general clearly got one-upped by Superman in that situation, and she probably thought it was funny, and that was like the only thing that she could have said to make it look like that she wasn't laughing at the general getting just like verbally bitch slapped by Superman.
I mean, she could have said like, "I just thought of a funny joke" or whatever. She didn't have to like. I'm pretty sure the point they were trying to get across is that.
That would be really.
What an odd thing to put in a film, just out of nowhere. She's like, "What are you laughing?" Oh, sorry, I just thought of a joke. I just thought of a joke that I heard on
That would be like
Reddit.
something that.
Yeah,
something
it's pretty funny.
they unscripted.
I love a
and-
Reddit reference in a Reddit reference in a movie would be hilarious. I just thought of a meme on.
On Reddit, yeah.
I just thought of this really funny.
Business
60
cat
line
gets me every
reference.
time.
Oh man, we've gone over time, haven't we?
Really? Holy
Um,
crap.
Yeah, probably.
Not really. Whatever.
Who
We
cares?
can I have more to say. Did you catch the reference to Did you catch the reference to Lex Luthor?
No.
On the fuel truck.
Yeah, on the truck. On the truck that
Lex
gets
Corp?
flown up into the building.
Yes.
It says LexCorp on it. So a nice little
See-
reference.
Hey,
I
that
was,
sort
a
of
bit,
implies there's
I was
like
a bit disappointed. I was a bit disappointed that Lex Luthor wasn't in this movie because chronologically he comes before all of that other stuff happens. So
But see,
I
that's the
don't know.
thing. How are they gonna like? They've already pulled out all the stops for this movie. They've done the space.
Yeah, they already like
done
destroyed the Earth.
city
Basically,
leveling.
they destroyed
What
like
the hell
whole
is Lex
city.
Luthor
So
gonna do? He's like, oh.
well, it's
Lex
Batman's
Luthor.
gonna be in it.
I was just about to say.
Serious?
I was just about to
Yeah,
say.
have you not heard about this?
How's
Have
Batman?
you not
gonna
been on
do
the
anything?
internet? No,
How was
Batman
it?
go?
it's like
How's
Ben
Batman
Affleck,
gonna
right?
do anything when the?
I thought
How's
that was-
Batman gonna do anything if the whole world's destroyed from Superman?
Batman doesn't do shit. Batman's a ninja. Batman like sneaks up on people and attacks them from the shadows, like
Yeah, but
maybe like
seriously,
one at a
the
time.
The only real thing that Batman has against Superman is his ability to be dark and broody.
Which Superman already is. So like, there's going to be no character difference because Superman is already an angsty teenager,
Superman is like more of a
completely
more
cardboard.
happy-go-lucky than Batman.
The thing that confuses me with this whole thing is that Batman always keeps a container of kryptonite on his belt, but they haven't introduced kryptonite at all. So how are they
Well,
going
I'm
to
sure they'll have
introduce...
timed it.
They
I mean,
better
they
do that.
haven't like
That's-
disregarded the theory of kryptonite, have they? I mean,
No,
they can
because
still
they
introduce it.
introduced it. I think
Well, if it's like a compound that makes it-
the foreshadowing of the kryptonite is the atmosphere that makes Superman weak. I believe.
Yeah, I mean that's the foreshadowing, but then it's like,
Yeah.
then they can still bring on like, because Krypton's like mind on, it's like mind on Krypton, and for some reason he's allergic to it when combined with the sun, right?
Yeah, because
Superman's confusing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
yeah.
There's too much lore for a dude that can shoot lasers.
What a silly movie. What a silly movie. Did you guys catch the Wilhelm scream?
Yes, I did. Out of the plane.
Yeah, nice. I'm always happy to hear a Wilhelm. I give it a thumbs up.
You know what that is, right, Robert?
Yes, I know what it is. I just missed it.
Good.
What do you think? I'm some kind of internet noob? Some kind of person who's never seen films?
Yes.
So the moral of this movie is, as long as you have a line and you're on screen, Superman will save you. But if you're like not on screen, and you're one of the million people that just got wiped out in that invasion, you're just dead.
Yeah.
But Superman doesn't really care about that. He's too busy kissing Lois Lane directly after this apocalypse has happened.
And before he really knows her fully, because they never...
considering both of them have like zero personality,
Yeah.
they're just like cardboard, attractive people, basically.
I feel like they tried to put in personality for Superman, but I think they've
Failed.
stuffed it up.
Yeah.
That lost all credibility when the dad was just like, no.
No, you mustn't save me, son. I must die a martyr.
What if he was just like, he just wanted to get killed by a tornado?
What if he just wanted that? If he was just like,
down the road, just like,
no,
holy shit, now's my
don't
chance.
save me. Don't save son.
I want to die in a
I'm gonna get one last chance at this.
Yeah. This is my dream. It's finally happening.
I get to die in a fucking tornado.
Which,
I wish I had
everyone
some
dies
hookers
really-
with me.
Yeah, and he just like
To be
stands
fair.
there as well. He just like stands there as the tornado like covers him.
yeah,
He doesn't,
he was
like-
too
doesn't
happy
even
to be
blink.
hit by that tornado. He must have been getting some kind of enjoyment out of that.
Yeah.
Fitness is a thing for tornadoes.
It's like if the ideal way to die is in a big explosion while doing some hookers.
Dude.
That's the good way to go. While parachuting from the sky.
Yeah.
No,
On, like
that doesn't work
LSD
too
or
well.
something.
There's only one
Yeah,
position
well,
you
on
can make
LSD.
in parachuting.
Yes, because otherwise your penis gets torn off. Yeah.
Wait, then how do they do that parachuting porn that I've never
That's the
seen?
one position.
That you've never seen.
So the way I would
It doesn't-
summarize this movie is cool sci-fi intro. That's the first 10 minutes. The next hour is this boring Jesus allegory, and the final hour is this awesome Dragon Ball Z fight scene. And that's about it. So as long as you skip that hour in between, I would definitely recommend this movie to anyone that enjoys stupid punching fights. Yeah.
And doesn't mind accidental genocide.
Yeah, gets a thumbs up from me. God, what were we going to talk about? So that's about it. That's everything on my notes. That's everything I have to say. We've talked about pretty much everything. So I guess...
Everything in the whole Superman universe. We talked about it.
Do you guys know about the death of Superman and like how they killed him in the comics and then brought him back like ages later?
No.
I know of it, but I don't know what the deal is with it.
It sounds
yeah.
stupid.
It is. You know how in comic books like death is like nothing. it's like if a character dies, they just bring him back with some stupid plot twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called manga.
Yeah. Yeah. Superman, yeah, Bleach. Superman was like the main... Superman was like the start of that, like the genesis. Because Superman got killed off, and it was like massive. It made like news headlines that they killed off Superman. He got killed off by some guy who was engineered by a scientist to be ultra powerful. I don't know what his name was. It was probably like something stupid like Death Note or something. Anyway, so he kills Superman. It's a big deal. And then there's just like 4 other... The Superman comics continue, but they follow like 4 different characters, and they're just not... None of them are cool as Superman. And eventually, Superman, it is revealed that when Kryptonians die, they enter into this sort of thing that is like a hibernation chamber, okay? And Superman didn't even know.
Stupid.
Yeah, so basically they resurrected Superman with some complete bullshit. And ever since then, like, death in comic books has been like nothing. Like, pretty sure the only character to ever die is like Uncle Ben from Spider-Man, and that's like the only character they haven't resurrected. So it must be pretty lonely up there in.
They killed off the Joker permanently.
Oh, spoiler alert! Wait, yeah, but Batman has like a.
In which iteration of Batman? There's like 7 Batmans.
Yeah.
Earth 31 Batman, because when they started putting all of the comic books together with Justice League, they had to justify all of the plot.
So they're parallel universes.
With parallel universes, yeah.
Oh my god.
See, this is why I can't get into comic books, because
the Joker actually.
You get this one hero, and there's probably like 13 Spider-Mans, and like 12 Batmans.
If that.
And then you get expected to read all of them and know every little thing about it, otherwise you'll be dejected by the comic book community.
I know.
I don't know.
Basically, the Joker kills himself because Batman.
He's sick of Batman one-upping all the time.
Batman almost wins. Like he almost kills the Joker. He actually paralyzes the Joker, and then the Joker's like, "I'm gonna frame you for murder," and breaks his own neck and dies.
Cool.
Because is that gonna work? It's the Joker.
And Batman is basically a villain for the rest of the time to the authorities.
He killed the Joker. He was framed for killing. That'd be like if he got framed for killing someone who's blowing up a bus full of school children.
It's like if you got framed for killing Osama bin Laden, and you were like, "It's Osama bin Laden, man."
Like who cares? Give him a medal. Batman's like, what's his medal for killing the Joker. Okay then.
Batman doesn't kill people, though, right?
Yeah, he doesn't.
That's like his deal?
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like 55 at that point, too.
Right, he's getting on. Wait, doesn't the Batman die and get replaced by Robin in one of them, or something?
No, Robin dies in one of them, doesn't he? Dick Gray?
There's probably like every character's been killed and replaced by every character.
In one of them, and he gets brought back too. That's one of the other things I read. Yeah, Robin in one of them gets killed and then gets brought back later.
Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing. He doesn't get killed. The next one gets killed, and then resurrected as the red something or other.
Red Mask?
Red Mask, yeah.
Under the red mask.
From Kick-Ass.
Yeah. Not Red Mask, though, because Red Mask is the Joker before he was actually evil.
Okay. I think we've
This is confusing.
successfully lost the interest of everyone, including the comic book community, who's like screaming at us, for, like, getting everything
You're
wrong.
Yeah, which is like, if you
But
start a
anyway,
sentence with doesn't Batman die in one of them? That's that's not a credible sentence. You can't hold us against that if we start the sentence with the word doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
Doesn't Batman become a god and create his own new Earth with perfect justice or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Batman meditates in front of the sun for a year and then becomes an all-powerful
Right.
Batman deity.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. Only
That should be the next movie.
I think we've gone just.
I'm
we've just
meditating
gone-
in front of the sun for a year. What are you talking about?
I think we've gone a little bit over time.
A little bit.
just a bit.
I had a lot to say about this stupid bloody movie.
And yet you still recommended it in the end.
Yeah, because it was fun, except for that stupid bit at the middle.
Start.
So are you guys at all interested in the second one with Batman in it?
It's really
Yes,
stupid.
I'm so gonna watch that. If only because Ben Affleck is Batman, because that'll be hilarious. It's gonna be so hilariously bad that I'm gonna love it.
Hopefully, that's my hope. Because you know that it's not going to be a good movie. Because if it has even the same like writer or anything as this one, it's going to be written like garbage, and all the characters are going to be boring. I just hope
Well, you
that
gotta
it's
give,
going to be
gotta
stupidly
give
fun.
Ben Affleck a bit more credit lately. He did Argo.
I mean, I'm not saying he can't act. I'm just saying the people who wrote this movie can't write. That's what I'm trying to say.
Isn't that what sort of went wrong with Batman and Robin?
A lot of things went wrong with that. One might say all things went wrong with that. Its very existence is a plague to society.
I love that even George Clooney jokes about how much of a piece of filth that movie is. And Chris
He
O'Donnell.
totally does. So basically, okay. So we have to talk about what movie we're going to see next, and we're going to get a little unprofessional because I haven't actually. We forgot to talk about that before the podcast. So
I don't really care.
we're going to watch another Marvel movie.
We're gonna watch
Another. This would be the first, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we're going to watch a Marvel movie, and we're going to watch.
Make another one. Who's the crappiest Marvel hero?
Probably Captain America. He's a bit of a stupid.
We'll watch Captain America.
All right, we'll watch Captain America.
So we ended up watching Captain America. Hurrah.
Indeed. All right, so my name's Dominic.
I'm Josh.
I'm Robert.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned.